to the first in my interview series. This time I've got two special guests, both of them very talented DJs and producers, here representing Dropjaw Audio, which is one of the best sound systems around.
It's the best.
So yeah, we've got Trobe and the PaperChaser. How are you both doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I should have like a big laughing track. There are some build-up kind of things, shouldn't I? Just a click of a button. But
I'll make that for you.
Yeah. But yeah, so I suppose I want to start off like right at the beginning. When did you both get into like drum and bass, jungle, that kind of thing? Was it something that you were introduced to from like parents, or was it something that you got exposed to when you were older?
I'll go first, Matty.
For me, it was when I was older. Like, my parents aren't really into drum and bass and that. I think like the first tune I ever heard that was drum and bass was actually like an Aries tune, and it was like jungle. So, and then from like I sort of enjoyed the mix of all types of music. But yeah, when you heard drum and bass, that was when I was like started to delve more into it, and like at the time, I was sort of like mixing a bit of everything. It was like EDM, house, drum and bass, and Eli will probably remember this. Like, I didn't actually like want to be a DJ, and I used to have like portable speakers, and I used to like rip my tunes off YouTube and SoundCloud.
We've all done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. It took me a while to learn that after Eli like kept me for a year and a bit.
You sort of kind of, if you just mixing at home. Obviously it's technically illegal, so definitely don't do that. But as long as you're not like, just don't play out a YouTube track on a sound system because it's not the right quality. And no one told me this until I'd done at least 2 sets.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you want to get back to that.
Oh yeah, I'm doing my bit. Yeah, just buy WAVs. Yeah, so I took over for you, Matty, then.
Or try and get on like promos as well, so you save yourself money.
Yeah, you can sign up to promo lists, so for like labels that you like. Yeah. It's basically where they send out like music before it actually comes out to get feedback, and you get it for free.
So just stripping that or using that instead.
It's definitely not a morally good thing to do.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Matty.
Yeah.
You gotta buy your music.
Yeah, because that was one of my questions. Was about how you go about finding new music. Like, do you sort of get sent music? Do you, just spend hours scrolling through SoundCloud? Or...
Matty gets sent more than me, definitely.
Possibly, but I don't know. Like, going back to the point though, like when I first started downloading my tunes, like I didn't actually like want a DJ. I was just using them for like I used to ride my bike and like play my portable speaker. And then I just wanted to get a sound system going to have like parties down the woods with like 50 heads. Like I never imagined it had turned into Dropjaw. And then like when Dropjaw came about, that was like, well, I've got all this gear. I should probably learn how to use it now.
So would you say Dropjaw was more? It was never something that was necessarily planned, but more something that just kind of it came about, and then you just put a name on it afterwards.
It was happening, and Matty jumped in pretty much.
Yeah,
we were already Dropjaw when you joined, weren't we?
Yeah.
Me and Kieran started Dropjaw in 2015, and then Kieran knew Matty and said that Matty wanted to join, and then he did.
Yeah, the rest is history. But no, there's been some big nights that I can remember as well. What would you say that your, like each of you, sort of proudest, best night is that you think you put on?
I think I know what it is, and I think Matty's going to say the same thing.
I did ask.
You did ask what?
I did ask.
Oh, I thought you said I did ask. Oh no, I was going to say the Goldie party, man.
Well, for me, it's the Goldie Free Party and the Adidas one. Like but like
King
the
George as well.
the Goldie Free Party was the free party, and then Adidas was like the illegal booking. So like they're both in their own category, but like both up there. And then
Yeah, to
like
be fair.
there's also a third one of like Meanie like playing at Outlook. Like that was a really big one for me.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, yeah. I never got to go to the Goldie Free Party. I think I missed that one. But I went to the one at King George's or the proper booking one. That was good.
That was sick, man.
Yeah, good. I missed the other.
Yeah, that Goldie Free Party was fucking mad. To be fair, the wildest free party I've ever done was the one in Trafford Park. That was in that was Halloween. No, Bonfire Night, 2016.
Yeah, that one was
fucking years ago. That now.
And then we blocked them out and everything. And
that was like the biggest. My life is fucked from this moment on party we've ever done.
I think I've heard about this one. Yeah.
There was like the whole police force were outside. There were like fire engines, fucking helicopters, trying to get in for about 7 hours. And at the end of it, we all like I think one guy got a light taken off him and nicked. No one, we thought all the gear were gone. We thought we were gonna get arrested and shit. And
they just didn't do anything. No,
I think there was a slight effort, but everyone was just like throwing himself under. I think they just wanted us to go.
Yeah,
if that were down south, it'd have been a different story. But they have so much more leniency up north because no one ever really does it.
What do you guys think about the new policing bill thing?
Well, I'm personally shitting myself because with this government, whenever they pass something like that, they never give it up. I hear about it all the time in the news. That's why people are like going mental limit about this, trying to take away like peaceful protest rights, because the second they pass it, they're never going to give it back. So like, I can't imagine a day when the police are going to say, right, we're no longer doing 10 grand fines for raves.
Yeah.
To be fair though, like apparently the fine used to be 20 grand, so like in reality it's half.
Discount.
You got half price raves.
There's a well funny post that went around saying like, can't believe illegal raves are illegal now. That's so true.
Yeah, it's definitely true, isn't it? So I have a couple more questions with regards to sort of like DJing. One was what would you think is like the biggest mistake that you see new DJs making, other than obviously you mentioned they're using poor quality songs before?
Yeah, I never really noticed that, to be fair. It's just something that you should always do. Playing jump up.
Yeah, big jump up fan.
No, I'm joking. Nah. There's a time and a place. Probably beat matching. Obviously, that's like the big thing.
Yeah. I think it's so easy now to not bother. You know.
Yeah. Well,
using like a controller, you can just look at the screen and see if you like.
Well, that's the thing. People mix with their eyes, not their ears. It's like riding the bike, man. Like I started DJing using these shitty little new marks that couldn't talk to each other. There was no fucking intelligence in them. Like I was using discs that I burnt, and like the BPM, the BPM was just a lot of bullshit. They know what they were telling me on the screen. So I literally had no choice but to mix by ear, sort of thing, which people obviously who started DJing now never do. So like my mate who I've helped DJ, who I went in uni with, like I used to make him put tape over the. I was like his DJing coach for like a year, and now he's almost better than me. Well, probably he's better than me actually. Like I used to make him put like a bit of paper over the BPM, and then beat match by ear, and then take it off to see how close he was, sort of thing. Because I said to him, like, it's all well and good being able to use the beat sync and having record box which tells you it bang on, but the second you go to a free party and we're not using Pioneer decks because of obviously, oh my god, someone's just walked past the window and scared the shit out of me. Sorry, one sec. Yes. ID. Yeah, one sec.
Some delivery.
I think like as well with the question, I think it's kind of hard to say like what do you notice about new beats because there's so many different ways of mixing. I mean, you know, some things work for some people, some don't for others. like there's some DJs that like to jump about a lot and like act like the mixer's on fire and you know they twitch the hands. There's some people that
Fucking Amazon.
just the show, but like for others they're actually doing something with it. So
Yeah, some of it is just like the image of trying to look like you're doing something when you're not really doing it.
yeah.
But other people actually do what they're doing.
Like I find a lot of the older school DJs tend to be like quite stiff when they're mixing. They're not doing as much performing physically,
Yeah.
but you know, they still do a banging mix. But I think in like, especially today, with all the live streams, a lot of people do like to see that jumping about and the
There's a
mixes
fine
on.
line between it though, because like
Because it adds a bit of entertainment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
people now are just like flinging themselves around looking like tits though, and it makes me want to turn it off. What were we saying? Sorry, the delivery man came.
So we were talking about just mistakes, biggest mistakes.
Oh yeah.
New DJs.
Yeah, not being able to actually mix. Like, because when we sometimes do parties, you're not going to have that. And the amount of DJs missing flap because there's no BPM. So it's just, it's like, you need to have it up your sleeve because that is the whole point at the end of the day. And then you can get a lot more creative.
Even if you're using record box, you can push if you push like the space bar, I don't know, but it gets rid of the like sort of big display, so you've just got the little song title. So
yeah,
you've got other ways to help you do it, because obviously it's far too easy to just take a little cheeky glance, isn't it? Like,
it is. But there's nothing wrong with that though. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with that as long as you can do it. Because it's like, because if you're gonna do like parties and like illegal parties and stuff, a lot like nowadays we do tend to have good Pioneer decks, but some of them you go to don't, and if you can't actually mix, then you're gonna fucking look like a right tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually getting an ear for it, and getting an ear for it, then it'll make you a better DJ even when you've got your BPM, because you can start to hear how tunes are made, and how after every 16 bars, there's beginning of a new phrase, and that's when you're gonna want to start bringing stuff in, and so building an ear for it and actually trying to learn why tunes are made in like the structure they are is going to help you be a better DJ.
Yeah, perfect. I couldn't agree more. Not really. I'm going to change the conversation a little bit to what your plans are for when the world goes back to normal in terms of Dropjaw, what stuff you've got on, or in terms of your own two personal, your own selves.
We're going to take over the world, aren't we, Matty? I personally can't wait, because like I've been producing for like 2.5 years. I've always been into music since I was really young, and I've always knew it's something that I wanted to do one day. And like I got all my fucking like stuff out of my system in first 2 years of uni, and then proper started knuckling down with it, like a lot of time in studio. And when it locked down last year, I was still pretty shit at it. So ever since, I've got better and better, and now I'm just like got loads of tunes stacked that I can't wait to hear in our rig. So mine's carry on with Dropjaw, keep making tunes, getting better, and see where that takes me.
I'm still learning about producing, but hopefully I'm gonna get a bit of a better flow for it.
I think there's been a lot of dead inspiration. Like I've fallen out of love with D&B, so trying to make it isn't always the easiest. But I think a lot of that's maybe to do with lockdown and just how shit the tunes are at the minute that everyone keeps releasing.
Like, I find not feeling inspired.
No, all the new tunes that are coming out at the minute, it's because of lockdown. Like, because all these people who make tunes, who most of their living as an artist comes from gigs, they've obviously not got that anymore. So to try and sort of, you know what I mean, like because they're not getting that money, they're just like releasing tunes left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's their fault, because it's something that they're having to do, but it's just resulting in this fucking saturated tune market at the minute, which I find absolutely not fun to listen to.
I think a lot of them aren't releasing the bangers yet, though, because I think
just holding them up.
You need the gigs to promote your music.
Yeah.
Because like when people hear it at a rave, it's different than listening at home on YouTube or on your speakers.
Yeah,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, I think it's completely different, isn't it? When someone's there listening to it, maybe just out of their laptop speakers or something like that, it's completely different, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah.
Everything sounds mint on a rig.
I think honestly, like when gigs start coming back on, so many bangers are gonna come out because like that'll be when they'll be able to push it. And like when you bring a tune out and you send it to a few DJs, like at the moment nobody's gonna be like playing it to any crowds. So like you sort of get like a teaser before it's released, and then when it's released, you're like, oh, that's that tune I've been hearing. So then you buy it.
Yeah, I get you. There's no way to really promote it.
Yeah.
But that was another one of my questions about what advice you'd have on promoting music or a mix or just something once you've actually made it. What advice would you give someone in terms of the marketing and promoting of it?
That's a good question.
I think
It's hard. It is hard just being a DJ because there's so many DJs, and unless you're fortunate enough to have a platform like we do, I bet it is a fucking absolute stress getting people to your mixes.
even like when you've got a platform like we do, though, like I think communication is probably the best thing. I mean, I'm not that good at it.
Networking definitely.
Yeah, not to like diss you, Eli, but I don't think like me and Eli sort of like don't speak to enough people to like get them to share our stuff on the terms of like how other people do. If you get what I mean, Eli.
I'm more of like a wait for people to come to me rather than go to them type of guy.
Yeah, and I'm sort of like that as well, which isn't a bad thing. But like, if you do want to do well in this business, you do need to network. Like, I'd probably say networking is probably like 80% of the work compared to actually the mix or producing.
Well, I'd say there's so many people producing, with so much music, so many mixes and stuff like that, the ones that are standing out, it's not necessarily because the music's better, but just they're being able to get it to the right people.
Yeah, like if you could get, I don't like, for example, someone like Jack Banner to share a link of your mix, that'll do more for you than you sharing your mix. Because like obviously like each person, they have all the family and friends and work friends and everything, like they're not going to be interested. But if you have someone that's in the music game that has all people that are into that type of stuff share it, that's going to then reach a totally different audience than what your audience is.
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta be original.
Yeah.
You gotta mix tunes people don't mix. You gotta be good at it. And like,
Something new.
block to block is sick as a platform. You can just pay it's like a tenner, I think. And then you just go on block to block, and you've instantly got thousands of people watching you. And if you're good enough,
Yeah, I suppose if you just practice something up and make sure that it's a good performance, you've got loads of people watching, haven't you?
Well, like you have to be consistent. Like one day you might do a mix and on block to block, and like 20 people might watch you, but then you might go another day and you might have 500 or 1,000. Like you can't like. You couldn't go and do a mix and it'd be a banging mix, and then you watch it back and you see there's only 20 people being, and you're like, oh, people aren't vibing off what I'm doing.
Yeah, I get you.
Keep going.
Yeah. Perfect.
Tough battle, really.
Yeah, well, I suppose at the moment, because it is so much easier to make music. You can make music from your home, and anyone can sort of make music. It just means that everyone is making music, aren't they? So there's just so much competition and so much. People can only listen to one song at a time, can't they?
it depends how far you want to go in the scene. If you're happy just being a DJ and getting gigs, if you're good enough, and fair play. But if you really want to get to the top, then you start making tunes.
Yeah, we can say that's essential.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Like if you network with the right people, that pushes your network for you automatically.
Yeah. So the key, is just really knowing the right people, isn't it? Which I suppose is the same with everything.
Yeah.
Knowing the right people and actually being good at what you're doing, really.
Yeah, you're good.
Putting in the practice.
Definitely really good.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to say that's it with all my questions. So I'm going to say thank you that's it with this video. So I'll stop the recording. But yeah, thank you both.